Have you noticed sometimes there are small things, very ordinary actions, but they seep into you in a strange way? I've experienced a moment like that before, and it opened up a new perspective for me. Many years ago, I lived in a military zone with a lot of people. All activities are collective. There, I met a friend named M. Because we shared a room, we talked quite well, so we quickly became close. Often go to eat together, go to class together, and then share homework. This M friend has a special thing. He often touches his nose when talking. I also found it a little strange at first, but I didn't ask M about that habit. And after just a few days of close contact, I began to have a new habit. It is imitating the act of touching M's nose when talking, completely unconsciously. It was at this moment that I discovered that I had a new habit, and that habit came from my best friend. The moment I realized that, I was really startled. We often think of ourselves as very independent, very self-reliant individuals. However, the truth is that we are deeply influenced, shaped by the people we are close to, and then by the environment around us. After learning more, I found out that this is not only an interesting fact of human beings, but it is also a miraculous law, very common in the natural world. And today, I want to share a secret that I believe can help us create the life we want. So have you ever wondered, is it good or bad that we are infected by other people's habits, whether from friends, coworkers, or family? Actually, I realized that this was neither good nor bad. It is merely a natural phenomenon, the difference being the way we adapt and interact with our environment. The biggest difference lies in whether we are aware enough to distinguish whether the habit is good or bad for us. If you unconsciously infect a bad habit, such as easily complaining, procrastination, or living a lack of discipline, you pay attention to whether the people around you often procrastinate or complain. But on the other hand, if you can actively recognize and choose to be close to people who have the habits you want, for example, they are very persistent, very active, or have a healthy lifestyle, then I believe that being infected becomes a huge advantage for you to develop yourself. This is the time when we turn passive into active. We cannot completely escape the influence of the environment, but we can completely choose the environment to be affected. And then infecting the habit will become a much easier and more natural path for you to build a better version of yourself. So how can we actually make that happen? How to create a new habit that is no longer a battle with the will, but becomes easier and closer? The first thing I learned is that I have to understand habits correctly. A habit is not just a matter of doing it for a few days, a few weeks. It's a whole process that goes on, from months to years. You want to lose weight and run every morning to get in shape, right? But you won't achieve anything if you just jog for a week or two and then give up. So we understand the truth. Habit is perseverance over the years. And this is the second extremely important key. After understanding the nature of habits, we can actively choose our living environment to easily infect the good habits we want. Ask yourself, what good habits do I want to have? Once you know what you need, you will know how to choose the right garden to germinate. Imagine, you live in an environment where everyone is enthusiastic about exercising every morning. Everyone is reading every night. That atmosphere, the excitement of everyone around you, it will automatically motivate you. You will easily perform that behavior like everyone else without too much effort of willpower. What's more, the people around you can also become motivators, even teachers if you have trouble implementing the habit. The power of community is undeniable. However, just choosing the environment is not enough. We need to go deeper into setting up actions intelligently. Third, clearly define the time and place to implement that habit. For example, you want to go for a run every morning. What time is morning? 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock? Be specific. Then where? Is it a gym, a park near your home, or some street with a lot of people running? Pay attention to where the people around you are running so that you can easily fit in. And another important, extremely important point that many people often have. At the beginning, make that habit a little beyond your ability, but don't overdo it. Doing this slightly beyond your ability creates a sense of attraction and conquest. I used to make this mistake. When I first wanted to get into the habit of running, I was wrong about all three of the above. I chose an area with few runners, didn't specify a specific time, and chose an inappropriate location. And even worse, the first time I ran, I set a goal that exceeded my strength a lot, running a full 3 kilometers. What are the consequences? I had muscle strains and aches for several days in a row, and this made me think that I couldn't conquer running, and even thought it was something far from me. On the other hand, if I had only set a goal of 1 kilometer for the first time, and most of it was just walking, things would have been different. The feeling of accomplishing a goal, no matter how small, it creates a great motivation. So it's clear that getting it right from the start, understanding the nature of habits, choosing a smart environment, and setting detailed, well-fitting goals is key. And I believe it will contribute to creating strong motivation, making it much easier for you to achieve habits. There is a special thing that you just need to maintain the action with effort for the first few weeks. When the habit is formed, then at that hour, place, that action will naturally take place without any more effort of willpower. It's like an instinct. I understand that when we start something new, we tend to expect to get a lot better right away. Or at least it has to be perfect from the first step. I used to be like that too. I also thought that I had to run 1 kilometer for the first time, not to walk a meter. But it is that thought that is the trap that makes us lose motivation most easily. When our wishes are too big and the reality has not been fulfilled, we will feel depressed and then lead to doubting our own abilities. So what do I want you to remember for now? The journey of creating habits or any progress in life is not a speed race to achieve instant perfection. It is a marathon of perseverance. Don't expect to get a lot better right away. Just get 1% better every day, but steadily. If you set a goal today to run 1 kilometer and only run 200 meters and then walk 800 meters, that's still very, very fine, because it's important that you started and you have maintained that action today. Every time you take a small action to build a new, imperfect habit, remember how happy you felt, how disciplined you were at the beginning, and give yourself a heartfelt compliment. Even though you haven't really made as much progress as you would like, you are on the path to progress. It is an extremely valuable thing, something to be proud of. Trust in the power of small, steady steps. They will accumulate, and one day you will look back and see that you have come a long way, far beyond what you ever dreamed of. Thank you so much for listening and accompanying me in today's podcast episode. See you in the next episode.